I call this meeting to order. Clerk of the board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Bergen.
Present.
Freeholder Carter.
Present.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present.
Freeholder Garrettson.
Present.
Freeholder Hudak.
Here.
Freeholder Jallo.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Present.
Vice Chairman Kowalski.
Here.
Chairman Granados.
Here.
Chairman, you have 9 freeholders present.
Clerk of the board, please lead us in the prayer and salute to the flag.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will and to grant the light of his spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk of the board, please read a statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
The chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2018, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2018 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2018 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you. We'll approve the communications and the executive session minutes later this evening during tonight's regular meeting. Now we'll go into our regular session. Director Yeska from Department of Administrative Services, please.
Good evening, freeholders. The department has 2 resolutions for your consideration. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Seeing none, thank you very much, Director.
Thank you.
Director Charles,
Good
Department
evening,
of
Mr.
Corrections.
Chairman, members of the board. The Department of Corrections has 5 resolutions for your consideration. Just a quick note, each of the 5 are just account number changes. There's no changes to the resolution, no changes to the money. Because of the department, the Juvenile Detention Center is now Department of Corrections. That's why we had to change the account numbers.
Thank you. Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Freeholder Estrada?
Yes, thank you very much. Wanted to ask you, why the change of an account? An account is an account.
Well, the account is now, I guess, was part of Human Services. Now it's the Department of Corrections. So it's I guess the prefix of the numbers have to align with the Department of Corrections.
So it's a different actual account number?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Director. Director Graziano?
Good evening, Chairman, freeholders. I have 12 resolutions on tonight for your consideration, and I'll try and answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Freeholder Estrada?
Director Graziano,
Sir.
as you know, President Trump today signed some legislation or signed something about the increase in 2 things of tariffs. As you know, we have tariffs in this country that's part of WTO, and he's protecting both the aluminum and the steel industry. I don't know about aluminum that we use in Union County, but we do use a lot of steel in our construction projects. We're looking at it either 10% for aluminum and 20% for steel. What do you think the impact would be to all those pending projects or future projects? I'm sure if the steel is in the country already, they cannot put tariffs on it, but I'm sure that the ones that are not already bid or projects that we're going to, if the steel is not here, it will require probably an increase in terms of cost.
We have, I guess, all of our big projects are already bid, and I know there is an allocation in all of our bids for the fluctuation of prices for certain things, which are allowed within all of our bids. So I guess hopefully it'll fall within that envelope, and we'll be okay.
Okay, so our present contracts do have clauses that allow, because of the world price,
Yes.
to go up or down in that respect?
Yes.
So we can probably end up paying more in the future.
We could be, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
If I can, I'd just like to point out number 7 on here. This has been an ongoing thing with myself. Freeholder Jallo has been up on this one for years. We've been trying to do something. We looked at it ourselves. We went back and forth a couple different times. This is an intersection in Springfield. Chairman Bergen will also appreciate this one. It's Hillside Avenue and Springfield Avenue, or Hillside of Mizell, where Mizell extends out to Springfield over by the gas stations over there. It's not a square intersection. You know, it doesn't sit right. So there's a lot of different traffic patterns that really affect a lot of things. And Freeholder Jallo, I think I'm going to say probably 5 years ago, probably brought this to my attention, and we've been looking at it since then. And we were finally able to get a study done for it. So we're going to get something done for you finally.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. Any other questions from the Freeholder Board? No. Oh, Freeholder Mirabella?
Comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Director, number 6, and that's a split cost 50-50 between the County of Union and the County of Morris for that
Yes, sir.
work, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And the total price of that is $640,000, is that right?
Now, $640,000 is the grant. That's our grant. We get that grant, and that's not split with Morris County.
Okay.
We get to use that towards the project.
So what is the estimate for the total cost?
It's probably going to be about a $2 million bridge total. I don't want to be exact on that because I don't like to
Alright,
get out numbers
yeah,
right
that's
away.
fine. So
But
$1
yeah,
million
but roughly
for
$2 million, and of the $2 million, we're going to get $640,000 of that will be grant funded for us, just for Union County. And then
And
that'll get
Morris
split
is
in
on
half.
their own for whatever they.
Yes, sir.
grant.
Yes, for exactly for half of it. We're just running the project. We do certain projects and they do other ones.
So
Certain
that's the
bridges.
partnership you have, is we're running the bids and the planning and
Yeah,
the.
engineering, design, the whole thing we do.
And they
They'll pay
reimburse
half
us.
on this one. Other bridges, other counties that connect to us pay, you know, they run a project and then we pay half. Like some of the ones in Somerset County, we split on their side of it, so.
Okay. All right, thank you, Director.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the Freeholder Board? Freeholder Sharp?
Just want to take a moment to compliment the operations for this Northeasterner, and truly say there'll be a third one coming next week, so, you know,
Don't
keep
say
up the
that.
good work.
I hope you're wrong with that, Freeholder, but
Well, I don't
I
know.
appreciate the thanks.
They're
And
talking
I don't
it.
know, Channel 2 has it coming next week. Lonnie does very well. He's been forecasting for even the inches. I know if you live in Berkeley Heights, you get more than most people. I mean,
it all depends. It all
I was
depends.
surprised.
We had 18 inches of snow yesterday.
I know. So
I know you know.
I'm gonna call Lonnie and let him know that he goofed by 2. He said 16, so.
Okay.
But,
Any other questions?
Thank you
Our
very
compliments
much.
to all the staff.
Freeholder Hudak?
Thank you.
Chairman, I just want the record to reflect, if we do get hit by a northeastern on Monday, we will refer to it as Winter Storm Estrada.
I did say Wednesday.
Any other questions, comments? Good, good.
Thank you,
much,
Chairman.
Director Taylor?
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Board. The Department of Finance has one resolution for your consideration this evening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Thank you very much, Director. Director Anderson from Department of Human Services?
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Board. The Department of Human Services have 7 resolutions on the agenda for your consideration this evening. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Oh, Freeholder Mirabella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director, on number 5, it looks like the, is this a change order, an increase in funding? Is that can you tell me a little bit about that? It just seems like a significant amount, almost more than half of the total cost of the allocation.
So this is amendment for the area plan. It was a 3-year plan for aging. Is the increase of approximately $2.1 million from federal and state funding. It's a 3-year period, and it's a renewal agreement. It's to provide home care, meals, transportation, services. So technically, the overall grant that we get from the federal government for the past 3 years have decreased, actually, $46,000 this year. So overall, it's a larger pocket of money, but this year we received, the first increase was, the initial contracts were about 1.5. The increase this year was about 2.1, but overall the funding was about 4 million.
Yeah. Just maybe they send it in pieces. That's what I'm just trying to understand it, because it seems like a significant addition to the, more than the original award. So that's why I'm asking the question.
They do send it in pieces. So it was just more, they had the availability to fund, they sent it to us for aging because there was increase in need
Okay,
for that
good.
population.
So that's good news. And then,
Yeah.
so from an overall standpoint, it's a net increase over the total funding we received.
Right.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Freeholder Carter?
Director, in number 6 and 7, those are just not a full year contractual period. And can you just go into those a little bit? And especially 7 is only a couple months.
So number 6 is for, in Cornerstone, the psychiatric services, this is a renewal. It's not on a annual basis due to the certification of the doctors. These are for the weekend and late night. So this is a separate, and that's why the contract. So we have to do it on an annual basis, and this year it's more of a hopefully from March to December.
Okay.
So that's why, and it's a specific to the need of the Cornerstone population. Number 7, right now it's a stopgap measure for SAGE because the SHIP insurance is in jeopardy on the federal level of losing funding. So we wanted to just have this measure in place to fund until an additional 3 months from April to June until we hear word from the federal government if it will be a whole year of
Okay.
funding.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Can you just elaborate on number 3, please, in reference to some of the agencies who received the funding and some of the benefits has been to our residents who are 60 years and above?
So, number 3, the coordinated community care, working with our senior population for in-home care and nursing services. So we are funding organizations such as Jewish Family Services, Sage Elderly Care, Community Access. We are working with the vulnerable population. As of 2000, for the constituents we served in 2017, we served about 63 individuals that are frail, and we really, the Division on Aging, pay close attention to these partners. So if the community has the need, the Jewish Family Services, Sage Elder Care is there, and this funding helps them to do the services for in-home care.
That's a great program. Thank you very
Yes,
much,
it is.
Director.
Thank you.
No more questions? Thank you very much, Director Anderson. Director Zuber from Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Freeholders. Department of Parks and Recreation has one item on tonight's agenda, and I'll try to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Freeholder Hudak?
Thank you, Chairman. Ron, the purpose is pretty self-explanatory. I imagine we had a similar contract in 2017?
We had, yes, with another company.
Oh, it was a different company. What did we spend on Porta Johns in 2017?
I believe I can get you the exact number. I think it's around 79,000.
Okay. All right, so the bid, and is this a contract and it's on call, or is this for whatever we request when we have events and we're requesting them?
It's in regular places that we put them on an ongoing basis, month to month, and then it's on basis, it's also on the on-call if there's a special event.
Okay.
Or
And this
we
is,
need more at a certain place.
and this is 24 months?
Open-ended.
Open-ended?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Mirabella?
No, that's the Freeholder Hudak asked the question I was going to ask.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Director.
Thanks.
Director Moran, Department of Public Safety.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the Board. Department of Public Safety has 3 resolutions for your consideration. I'll try to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the Freeholder Board? Freeholder Hudak?
Thank you, Chairman. Andy, in regard to number 3, in 2017, comparatively speaking, how much did we expend for this service?
In 2017?
Yeah, I'm assuming that this is we had a similar resolution last year. Do you have any idea what we spent on?
We do, and number 2 on the agenda is actually amending this 2017 reso. That total is $216,900.
Oh, okay. So the resolution 178 that is per diem doctors. Is that a company or it's just?
No, we have 4 separate per diem pathologists that assist our one full-time ME in
Got
doing, Dr. Shake, in
Okay.
doing autopsies on weekends, holidays, when he's on vacation, and just when his workload is increased.
Got it. Because my second question would be is who is the company per diem doctors and what do they do? So that's sensible. Okay. And then in regard to number 1, the Neptune engine system, how many times was it deployed last year? I know it's been utilized for a number of the large fires in Union County and throughout Union County. It's a good example of the UASI money, but have we deployed it at all in the last year?
I don't recall its deployment in 2017. I know it went down to Seaside Heights for that fire, the Buried Biscuit fire. During Sandy, it was helped to pump out the Holland Tunnel, and they drill and practice with that every year at Port Newark. But I don't remember if it had a deployment last year, but I could check on that. And see.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Vice Chair?
I know we've acknowledged Public Works, but I also want to thank Public Safety and all your staff for, getting us through that terrible storm, like a 1-2 punch, because we had Friday before, which was really tough. So congratulations, Director, to you and all of Public Safety and of course Public Works and all our staff who pitched in, because this was a big effort and it's not over, right?
No, it's not. Our dispatch center is still very busy receiving calls from residents across the county. So thank you for those kind words.
Freeholder Estrada?
Quick question on the issue of expenditures when it comes to autopsies due to the opioids epidemic. How many more autopsies have they done actually because of it? Because I'm sure that's part of the increase that you're handling here.
Yes, and unfortunately, the number of cases coming through the medical examiner's office has increased steadily over the last few years. In 2015, we had 63 overdoses. In 2016, we had 91. Last year was 126, which is an increase of 31 autopsies directly related to the opioid epidemic.
So no doubt that this is causing also the increase here, besides the fact of the losses of life that we've had, also is it's causing us, in essence, in terms of this particular budget item. Thank you.
It is. It's a real struggle, across the country. There's been several articles in major newspapers about how medical examiners' offices' budgets are strained because of this epidemic.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Director Moran.
Thank you.
Office of County Counsel, County Counsel Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Office of the County Counsel has 3 items on tonight's agenda, and I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Yep. Freeholder Mirabella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bob, so number 3 says pursue a litigation related to opioids epidemic.
Yes.
There's no dollar amount connected with that? What's the story with that?
It'd be a fee-generating case. They would be representing us, well, depends upon where. Belief is, and we are going to try to keep this in state court, but there's a good chance we would be removed into a mass tort litigation in Ohio with many others. But we really are seeking to stay in state court. But in that scenario, in either scenario, it is a contingency fee. If there is a recovery, the firm gets a certain percentage. If there's no recovery, there's no cost to the county.
Do we have any idea what that potential money could turn into, and what percentage they'd be entitled to?
Well, in the case, it breaks down, there's two separate percentages. The percentage, if the matter winds up in federal court, where we would be one of a multitude of plaintiffs, there would be less work involved unless they were chosen as the lead counsel. In that scenario, they would receive a 25% fee on anything recovered. In the event that it is a state court, then we would be standing alone, and all of our costs associated with this epidemic would have to be developed, and it would be a singular case where we would be the plaintiff against numerous manufacturers and producers. In that case, it would be a sliding scale, starting with 33%, potentially for the first 750, reduced to 30 after the next 750, 750,000, and continues to slide down to 25%.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, County Council.
You're welcome.
At this time, I'll ask if any freeholders have any additional resolutions to add to the regular meeting agenda and/or any friendly amendments. Freeholder Mirabella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to see if I could join in with Freeholder Jallo on the Roselle Park team's 1,000th victory in the program. I happened to be there that night to see it. I went to Roselle Park High School, so I hope the Freeholder won't mind if I could join him on it. Thank you.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes, I would like to join Linda on number 1 with the Parkinson Awareness Month. Possible maybe to consider, that would be from the whole board. I think that.
Yeah, I would like to be on that.
Yes.
Besides me sponsoring. Yeah. The whole board would be good.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Chairman,
Oh, Aisha.
and if I could join Freeholders Bergen and Hudak on number 8 about the offshore oil.
Freeholder Garrettson?
Yes, I'd like to be a joiner on number 5.
Myself also. And if I can be on number 14 too.
2 and 5.
Chairman, I'm sorry, which freeholder asked to be a part of number 14?
So, well, I was gonna actually make mention, if possible, Vice Chair's okay with it, number 14 coming from the entire freeholder board,
Yes.
and also number
Yes, please.
5 coming from the entire freeholder board.
Yes. Thank you.
Everybody good with that?
14 and 5, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Any other amendments?
I'd like to be added
Good job. 2? You got Freeholder Jallo?
I did.
Anyone else? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.